This is African News on Voice of the People Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heartbeats, the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our future. African News on Voice of the People Television. Stay with us.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight.
All right, welcome to another brilliant edition of the Locker Room on Voice of the People Television. I am Jerry Apelio reporting for football duties. So much to talk about in the exciting world of football. The Super Eagles preparing for the African Cup of Nations and their opponents already unveiling their list while we are still waiting for, I don't know, the most talked about 28-man list. It looks like it's becoming a jukebox, or will I say a puzzle that the NFF will have to crack to unveil the players who will be going to the Afcon, which is just in a matter of a week or so away. And of course, I'm not alone. I have the guys in the studio with me, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, will be joining us virtually to make sure the show is to your own delight. And of course, Ikechukwu, so much happened in the exciting world of football over last night, talking about the Champions League. It looks like Xabi Alonso lives to fight another day.
Absolutely lives to fight another day, Jerry. Good evening and good evening to our viewers. A lot happened, right, in the Champions League. Arsenal showed strength in spite of the fact that the back four was completely new from what we expected. Declan Rice was also given a holiday for that particular one to see that one out. I mean, it's been a long time coming. A lot of persons have been calling for him to actually take a break after the Aston Villa game. Showed that he's got tired legs. And, I mean, a lot of teams, really pulled a very good pull-ups, of a very good display. Juventus, I mean, showed just why they are arguably one of the best teams in Europe. And we definitely look at the Super Eagles. We don't know what's happening at this point. I don't know if it's going to be the eve to the tournament where the 23-man list will be officially unveiled. But if the NFF is yet to actually decide that, perhaps they are obviously waiting to actually start, or release the list after the Egypt friendly, which is, for me, it's not, something that we should be happy about, because these guys should actually know their fate now, put their hearts to it. But then I hope that whatever decision they decide to take in the end is going to actually help the Super Eagles come out or give a very good showing in the Afcon. But once again, Jerry, it's good to be part of the locker room this evening.
All right, it's good to be a part of the locker room. Of course, while we wait for Maiwa to be a part of the show, let's hit the ground running. And Eric Chelle is in the news this time around because everyone is waiting for him. He's the most talked about man as far as the Afcon is concerned, as Nigerians await the 28-man roster. And of course, Eric Chelle has come out to explain why no new players made the Eagles squad. But we hear that only 3 out of the players he named in the preliminary squad were going to the African Cup of Nations. And the reasons he explained was that there's not much time to see these players and see what they can bring to the table, talking about adding some flair to the team and adding, getting to know what they can do and what they can give to the side. But if the information we are getting are correct, if the likes of Akin Samiro is going to be making the squad, as well as Blackburn Rovers defender, talking about Ryan Alebiosu, as well as Rafiu Durosimi, who plays for Czech Republic side Victoria Pleasant. These players have not had game time with the Eagles. So where's that information coming from? Why are the players? Why are these players different from the other players that he says that he has not really seen them?
So basically, still very much in the realm of speculation at this point.
Yeah.
If Eric Chelle is saying that no new player will be part of it, and then in the same breath he's saying that we are hearing information of Akin Samiro and even a certain Emmanuel Michael, to be part of the Eagles Super Eagles setup. Even Ryan Alebiosu, because of our defensive shortfall, it begs the question: if no new player will be part of the Super Eagles, who are the players then that will be part of it. Again, on the flip side, perhaps Chelle is saying that, no new player in the sense that players who have not been, a name that's not been part of the Super Eagles at all, maybe that's what he's branding as new to him, But the likes of Akim Samira has always been around, and the name has always been part of, huge stock for the Super Eagles to be part of the setup. It was also supposed to be part of the playoff, but injury actually kept him out. Ryan Alibiosu, he's a defender. He's not been part of the Super Eagles, but this is not the first time his name is being mentioned. Of course, Zero Simi is also not the first time his name is being mentioned. So maybe he's looking at it from that particular realm, saying that, yes, we talk about new player, but he has to be the ones who actually are getting the very first time their name is going to be popping up in the Super Eagles. But I think it's going to be easier for us when the final 23-man list eventually comes up. Then we'll be able to see clearly what Chelle is talking about when he said no new player, will be part of the Super Eagles setup. But as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know right now, if you look at the team right now, without Ryan Alibiosu, without Duro Simi, without Akin Samiro, I think the Super Eagles will still go into that particular championship with a very good squad, with a very healthy squad. Yes, bearing the defensive crisis that we have, but I think we have a lot of defenders. We've looked at the right back. I think Olana and Brighton Shama have it locked down. Bruno Imechi and Zedu Sanusi have that role also locked down. And then in the heart of the defense, Kevin Bassi, Shemi Ajayi, and of course we can also look at two other players who will be part of it. Perhaps Wilfred Ndidi will be dropping to be part of the heart of the defense line. Then maybe a certain Rafael Ndika will have a lot of play time, and Haya Science will also part of those who will show up the midfield, and of course Frank Onyeka. So maybe that's where he's looking at. Maybe, just maybe, but let's get to see the list first. Then we'll be able to really understand the realm which the coach is actually speaking. But as it stands now, right, I think it's still very much in the realm of speculation. All
right, realm of speculation. Of course, you understand that Mayowa is now with us. Mayowa, it's great to have you join us. So much to talk about, excited with the football. I know you're excited. There's joy at home, Man City beating Madrid.
Well, it's always amazing to be here. My wife was so happy yesterday. Man City made that proud. Alonso under a whole lot of pressure. Probably maybe we'll get to see Alonso fired very, very soon. But it comes with the terrain. You are as good as your last game. But in any case, a whole lot of controversy with the Cameroon national team. But that aside, our own drama still continues. We don't know who is still going to be the makeup of the squad. They are still chopping and changing. I'm hoping that, at the end of the day, we don't get to see strange names make it to, the Nations Cup. But in any case, it's an amazing Thursday to be here. Thank you for having me, Jerry.
Yeah, definitely. We don't want to hear any names like Tanimo. Definitely, I'll be very upset if I see such names in that Afcon list. Yeah. I think I can make do with Paul Onachu. And I don't know, Victor Boniface, I'll be very worried. Igor Ogbu sounds decent. And even the Duro Simi guy, I've gone to see some of his tapes. He's a decent player. I'm even surprised there's a certain player who plays for Southampton. Nobody has been talking about. He's a defender, formerly a Chelsea player. I'm trying to remember his name. And nobody's talking about him. And even the other guy that came sometime, Osho.
Gabriel
Osho. I don't know. It's like they pushed him aside.
I prefer Ngenge to Osho.
No. I think at least we know where. See, but we used 24 hours to look for where Ngenge is.
We still don't know. Remo Stars, Jerry. Remo Stars.
That Remo Stars that which team? Which team they play in the CAF Champions League?
Jerry, it doesn't matter.
Was it not there when he plundered 5 goals?
It doesn't matter. Side 7-1.
7-1 aggregate.
Matter,
that's the player you want. See,
Jerry,
that's the player you want. That's the player you want to play in the Super Eagles.
Liverpool lost to Aston Villa 7-2.
Leave Liverpool out of this.
No, we have to talk about it.
That's the player.
Liverpool lost to Aston Villa 7-2. Does it make all Liverpool defenders terrible?
Which year?
Van Dijk.
Which year?
3 seasons ago.
Which year?
3 seasons ago.
Wait, are we comparing Remo Stars situation?
No, I'm saying
Remo Stars.
Any team can lose.
Let's say Remo Stars. If Remo Stars play, calm down. If Remo Stars play Mamelodi Sundowns 10 times, they will lose 10 times successfully. True of us.
What are you even saying, Jerry?
No.
We are looking at a player.
Let's look at it.
The team might be
that Remo Stars team that you saw, if they play Mamelodi Sundowns 10 times, are they going to get a win?
No, if they play Mamelodi Sundowns 10 times, the way they played, they will be beaten 11 times.
They will not even see draw. That's the team you want the defender to go to the Afcon.
Is it about the Jerry, one player, not the team now?
Because they lost does not mean all the team is bad.
Exactly.
Because they lost does not mean everybody in the team is bad. Ungenge can be the revelation of this particular Nations Cup.
Jerry, you're not being fair. See, my wife, you recall en route to 2013 Nations Cup. Godfrey Obabona was one of the most talked about defenders in the Nigerian league.
True.
He got to that Nations Cup. He wasn't even a starter, but something happened after our first game. Yobo was placed on the bench, and the guy became, the revelation of that tournament. This Ngenge might not have had it good because of, crowd of players he's been playing with. But Jerry, if you give...
Anyway, Ngenge will never be in the conversation. That's it. So let's not even waste our saliva because it's not even... Even Eritrea must have seen enough. If Ngenge was doing well, I think Eritrea will be talking about him. I don't even need to waste the precious time of locker room to be discussing an unknown player, or a ghost player. Let's talk about those who are relevant.
But that's unfair.
That's the truth.
Premier League champion.
That's the blunt
Wait, Jerry, Premier League champion is what you're calling
that's the blunt truth. If
worker.
Ngenge was doing well, we will not be talking about Benjamin Frederick, Ryan Alebioso and co. Yeah, we will not be looking for other players.
No, we are talking about,
If Ngenge did well at the champ.
No, we are talking about Ngenge because injury happened.
Even when Ngenge was fit, bro.
No, injury happened to the Super Eagles now. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah.
But Jerry,
Ngenge is not even in the conversation. He has never been in conversation. You just brought it just as a joystick, just to be happy, just to be excited. And I think the excitement has grown thin. I'm really tired of it right now. But let's talk about relevant things because Ngenge is a ghost worker as far as I'm concerned.
He plays for Remo Star, Nigerian League.
I just found out.
MPFL.
I just found out.
Wait, Jerry, MPFL.
And Remo Stars is languishing. They are not doing well right
MPFL
now.
champion.
In the MPFL, Remo Stars is struggling.
Liverpool is also struggling.
I think if I even hear that Nassau United defender, I can hear.
Jerry, Liverpool is also struggling.
Yeah, Liverpool is struggling.
Does it make Van Dijk a terrible defender?
Yes, it's terrible this season. Very, very terrible. Very, very terrible.
Yes, we were talking about it yesterday when I was saying Ngenge is better than him.
That doesn't mean that Ngenge is better than him.
This season.
Anywhere next season, even at 34, even if at 40, Ngenge cannot even lace his boot now. Let's not even talk about it, please. It's annoying. It's annoying enough. Let's talk about the reason why the Super Eagles final 28-man list is being delayed because it's really, really mind-boggling that today is 11. And if our time is correct, if our calendar is correct, that's 11 days to the kickoff of the Afcon. 10 days actually. And let's say 11 or 12 days before the Eagles play their first game on the 23rd.
Yeah.
So I don't know, why should we be in this situation where nobody knows who is going to be in the 28-man list is concerned? Why all the secrecy? Why the delay?
Well, Jerry, I don't know why. If I say I don't know why, it will look like, I am not a Nigerian, right? But then I still don't know why, because at this point, it doesn't even make any sense. The hallmark of, releasing your team early is to actually help the guys prepare their mind. A lot of uncertainty will definitely unsettle the players. That's one thing for sure. But then, again, on the other side, FIFA also made this even possible by, shifting the date for players' arrival to on the 15th. That makes it even worse because now the Super Eagles and the NFF will be having reasons. I mean, the Eric Chelle and the NFF will be having reasons not to actually release what use? These guys are not coming to camp. So why am I even releasing it now, right? But then it's only reasonable to do it because you want all your players, to be focused, their mind relaxed, knowing that on set days, so that they also can be able to actually start planning their own itinerary, how they will move if they eventually make the cut. I also want to believe that, somewhere, that we don't know, that some of these players already know that they're part of the cut and they already know, who and who will not be part of it. I just want to have that somewhere, wrapped in my mind. But looking at what, the issue is right now, and then, Eric Chelle and then the officials actually, delaying this, there's always going to be power play. It has always been so, in the Super Eagles setup. Yes, it's even easier for the government and, people who run our football to actually, do that power play now when we are not really spoiled for talent. They can really now influence the list. After all, most of the players we have are not even playing at the highest level, so anybody can actually stroll into the team if one or two buttons is pressed. If one person decides two chief in the glass house decides to activate, the my slot rule, someone definitely gets his pass and become part of the team. If it's about in the days where the likes of JJ and Co were part of the Super Eagles, it's going to be difficult because, top players playing at top level, you cannot really just influence that, except you are certain that, okay, by influencing this list, so this player is only going to be on the bench all through the championship. You cannot influence it otherwise. But now we are having a team that is not really, at the level that we've always known. So definitely, this power play is going to be easy for them and it's going to make sense. That's why we're having this issue. Anything outside that, trust me, I really cannot say what it is. But this is what I think it is. There's power play, and it's definitely going to play out. Either just to influence the list or to decide for the coach how he's going to be setting up his players in the championship.
All right, and of course, a source from the NFF has revealed that there's a certain situation where the senior men, the Azamen of the NFF, are all lobbying for some certain players to be included in the list. That is why the list is being delayed. Is it that those at the glass house have not learned their lessons? Are we still making the same mistakes and expecting different results? Or these guys don't give a damn? They don't care about the feelings of the fans. They just want to maintain status quo. They don't care whose horse is God. They just want to just have their way at all costs. Maiwa.
Well, the first thing is they don't care. If they care, they will not be running our football this way. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, the deadline for submission of list is tomorrow, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So if the deadline is tomorrow, and as at 6 p.m., as at 5 p.m. today, we don't have the list yet, it tells you a whole lot of story. The bottom line is there are some people in the glass house that are trying to press some buttons for some players to appear on that particular list, players who are not supposed to be there. And that is the reason why, and that's one of the reasons why, we didn't even qualify for the World Cup when we had a Tanimu who was not even playing active football, being part of the national team and was a starter for the national team until we started shouting on every platform before, Tanimu disappeared quietly from the national team. The same thing is going to happen at the moment. And that's the reason why they've been delaying the list. A whole lot of other countries, that are going to this particular tournament, they've released their list. Everybody have seen who and who is making it. But at, less than 24 hours to the deadline, we don't even know exactly who and who is playing. The problem is I think some people in the glass house, they have some, boys that they want to put. Probably maybe they've greased their pocket with some money, and that's the reason for that. And if we continue to do this, there's no way we will achieve anything with our football. At the end of the day, if the team goes out and we do not perform, everybody will start pointing finger at the coach and at the players. And I just hope the fans, they can say exactly what is going on. And to be honest with you, I'm sick and tired of the set of people we have running our football. The same thing happens over and over again, and we just keep going around and around the same circle without a solution in sight. To be honest with you, I would not mind if we don't have a football team for the next 2-3 years for us to fix this mess in the glass house. Because if they are not interested, if it's not about the money, why would you be delaying the list till now? Why would you be producing a list that people who do not merit to be on the list will be on the list? What message are they trying to send? It's just so unfortunate, that we find ourselves in this situation, and I don't know exactly when this is going to end.
Yeah, when this is going to end. Wait for that day. Maybe, I don't know. In my lifetime, I will get to see where things are done right as far as Nigeria is concerned, because it doesn't only stop at football. It cuts across every sector. Every sector is compromised. Corruption, individual interest over national interest, institutions are a mess, and it makes it difficult to understand, because normally, if a country like South Africa has the kind of talent Nigeria has, imagine South Africa will be walking to the Nations Cup and just be taking it kick without stress. Imagine Egypt has the kind of talent Nigeria has, or Morocco. Morocco is blessed with the talent, both female and male football. Bro, when the Nations Cup wants to start, everybody will say Morocco and the rest. Nobody will even argue. When Morocco, they will win clean clear. From the first match to the final match, it will just be easy walk in the park. That's how it should have been. But unfortunately, it looks like, anyway, you cannot be blessed all around. But what we have now is human problem. It's no longer talent problem. It's not talent. It has never been talent problem. What we've been having as a country has been human error. Would I say human error? I don't know, but God will help us. Anyway, let's talk about the situation of Stanley Nwabali. Ago insists that the injured Stanley Nwabali, talking about Aloy Ago, he's an experienced goalkeepers trainer. He's been with the Super Eagles for a long time, and he understands what it means to have a number one for the Super Eagles. But he said that despite the injury of Stanley Nwabali, he still stands a big chance of making the Super Eagles squad. And of course, if someone like Aloy Ago is talking, I think you need to respect his own stance as regards Nwabali's injury situation.
Absolutely. When we talk about Super Eagles goalkeeping department, one name will always stand tall. After Peter Rufai, I think Felix Aloy Ago is the closest to Peter Rufai when it comes to good old days. And then you talk about Best of the Dengbe and co. He's one man who did it with Enugu Rangers, won the league, and is actually a superhero. Back in the 60s, 70s, and of course, the 80s, even in the 90s, where before he finally left the stage. So yes, I think it's making a lot of sense. Nwabali, if he can actually make it, I don't want him to be passed to the championship. That's what I don't want. But if he insists that Nwabali should be part of it because of his experience and his presence in the camp for harmony, even if he's not going to be, in the stick for the first couple of games, I really wouldn't mind. I mean, because goalkeepers are, their department is not one place you get to see a lot of injuries. I mean, one goalkeeper can go to the championship and then make it all through without the rest even, step into the ring at any point. So yes, if that's the case, but one thing I would not want is for him to be part of the team, and then you are expecting us to actually play him when we know he's not 100% fit. That's not what I want to see. A goalkeeper who is yet to actually have been tested even at club level, who is not really doing so well, is not what a team that is not in a very good shape is expecting to actually take to a major championship. That's where the problem is. Nigeria is not at the level where you say, okay, even without a very good goalkeeper, we can actually take many teams to the cleaners. The reason why the Barcelona of Pep Guardiola era actually did what they did was because that team was super good. The cohesion was awesome. They can outplay you. They can decide, your fate even in the first 15 minutes of the game. Barring the fact that their goalkeeper is not even one of the top 10 at the point. I'm talking about Victor Valdes. But you just imagine a Barcelona side that is not as good as that, having a goalkeeper like Victor Valdes. Many of those games that they won, they wouldn't have even have won those games. But because they are so good that even many of the time, Victor Valdes even get barely tested. And we don't have that kind of squad that can actually really impose it, or bully teams, or kick teams off the park. We don't have that kind of squad now. We don't have even a lot of fear factor in our teams. Even our top players, many of them at some point, at this point are really trying to really get back to form. It's not the kind of Super Eagles you want to have a goalkeeper who is not fit. But then again, except it is for him to just be part of the team as, like you want to say, a moral booster, then definitely I don't have a problem. But outside that, I don't think we need Stanley Nwabali if he's not 100% fit.
All right, of course. Stanley Nwabali, according to Aloy, he spoke to him. He said he's injured, but he was going to try as much as possible to make the cut. But he said rather that the injury is really serious, but hopefully he'll be able to convince, talking about the coach and the coaching crew, that he will be available eventually for the team. Do you think it's worthy to still take him, despite the injury worries that he might not be available for the first few games?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Aloy Ago is part of the coaching crew, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think formally, not now, no longer. He's no longer part of the crew now.
Yeah. That the reason why I asked the question is because Aloy Ago is not part of the coaching crew, yet he's speaking for an injured player. These are the things that we are talking about. The first thing is this: you are injured, and apart from the fact that he has a whole lot of issue, there has been a whole lot of issue as regards his form for the national team. The form for the national team has not been that good, and there has been calls for his replacement. Now he's injured. There is no point taking an injured player that you are not guaranteed that is going to play. And according to a report, it seems the injury is serious. If it's not serious, we will not be having this conversation at the moment. So I think for me, if you are taking an unfit Nwabali to a Nations Cup, it doesn't speak well for those who will be vying for that same opportunity to be part of the Nations Cup. Yes, I'm all for healthy competition, but the moment you have an injured player that will not contribute anything to the team, and you decide to take that player to the tournament, and remember, if a player is coming back from injury, it takes a bit of time before they regain their former form. This, and also add that to the fact that this person that we are talking about, he has been in terrible form for the national team, at least for the national team. Even his club, they've been considering goals with reckless abandon. So, I mean, for me, I don't think he should be part of the. He'll probably be one of the people that the Godfather spoke about for him to be part of it. It doesn't make any logical sense for you to go to a Nations Cup with an injured player that will not contribute anything. There is a magical player. There are other goalkeepers who will be, who want to take this opportunity to showcase what they can do for the national team. I think it will be better we pick any of those goalkeepers to go instead of Stanley Nwabali stealing a spot from somebody who is fully fit and can, contribute to the overall success of Nigeria at the tournament.
All right. And of course, taking a look at the Tunisian side, they're one of the opponents of the Super Eagles in the same group. And of course, they've already unveiled their roster for the Afcon. And of course, it's a star-studded side in the eyes of the Tunisians. And of course, we have Ben Said, the goalkeeper there. And for those who know the Tunisians, they always bring something to the table. And there's a Jaziri who plays in the forward line for the team. Maiwa, taking a look at the Tunisians, they are no pushover. They stopped the Super Eagles in 2019.
I mean, they are no pushover. I was hoping to see, the Sunderland star, Shamsuddin. I didn't see him there. And I don't know exactly, what the issue is with him. But in any case, I mean, they will probably give us a run for our money. They've been on the steady rise. Remember the World Cup qualifier? They were one of the scintillating teams in that particular, qualifiers. And qualifying with ease in your group, and building on that momentum, has served them a whole lot. So there will be a force to reckon with. Nigeria at the moment, we don't know who will be part of our, we don't know who will be going to the Nations Cup. We are not even sure. But for Tunisia, they've been able to put their house in order. And these are the kind of things you need to put in place even before the competition starts. At the moment, the list is in the air. We don't even know the players that are going. To put the players, in the proper frame of mind of the competition. And these are the issues that that we usually talk about that are not, they are not on the field issue, but they are the backroom issue that will probably at the end of the day affect our overall performance. So I mean, good one for Tunisia. I would not be surprised, if they overperform in this particular tournament. Their run in the World Cup is an indication for that. And over the years, they've been building their team consistently. They have a whole lot of array of stars. And this is their opportunity to be able to do something fantastic at the Nations Cup.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a very keenly contested one. Of course, the Tunisians are definitely not going to be pushed aside. They have a very good league, and they have players who have self-belief in themselves, and definitely they will not be afraid of the Eagles when they eventually play each other at the Afcon.
Absolutely. If you've been following North African football, well, you know that the ways some of these countries play are quite peculiar to each other, right? You know that for Tunisia and Algeria have this similar style of play, and the similarity between both of them is that they are very physical side, amongst the North African folks. And when you're playing against a side that is quite very physical, and also that North Africans naturally are very technical and tactical too, it's going to come with a lot of demands. But then they might not have that high-profile names like they used to have back in the days, but you cannot wish them away. They are a side that should be respected at every given championship. And one thing about championship like that I fear very much is that when you are up against a team that is a traditional Nations Cup side without top name in their ranks, they are quite difficult to actually play, because now everybody wants to make a name for themselves. They want to come all out as a unit. They want to go all the way to make history, and they are quite difficult to actually play. Look at the way they actually played in the World Cup qualifiers. You know that they are a team, and I mean, this is not a time for showboating or individual performance. This is the time to actually look at, the quality of a team. When it comes to quality of a team, Tunisia really is one team that, should be really respected. I think alongside Nigeria, if Nigeria do what we are supposed to do right, we both can actually make it through the next round. But I don't think that Tunisia is a side that we should actually, disrespect. They are not a side that you want to push over. We should ensure that whatever it is we want to do, our game against Tunisia should not be the game that will decide our fate. We should make sure the remaining other two teams in that tournament are, well beaten, and then we can now decide whatever it is we want to do with Tunisia. Because if our fate if we keep our faith and hope that Tunisia game will definitely decide how we'll definitely go through, then of course it's going to be a very long road for us, and I don't want to see us. The North Africans are very, very tricky. They have antics. They understand game management. They are very difficult to play when they actually the ball is actually in their court. So I don't want us to be in that particular mix against the Tunisians in this one. So, but it's a good one that we're playing against one of them, early enough. So at least it's going to help us, prepare psychologically during the knockout phase if we ever come up against, any of them. But yeah, congratulations to them. I hope that we're going to have a good day.
All right, well, we're going to have a good game. And of course, talking about the man of the moment, Akin Samiro is said to be a part of the Super Eagles at the African Cup of Nations. Inter Milan are beginning to have a rethink on the clause that was put in his deal to join the Pisa on loan. There was an option to buy clause included in the contract. They are considering striking that out now that it looks like he will be going to the Afcon and getting game time, meaning that he's talking about his transfer fee will go on the high if he plays at the Afcon. So whatever clause says that you must buy him at a certain amount will no longer suffice. And I don't know how they'll be able to do that looking at the situation of Akin Samiro Maiwa.
Well, I think what will happen is I don't think Pisa will agree to, because what Inter Milan wants to do is this, strike out that particular price tag that they put in the contract for them to be able to get higher fees. And Pisa is relatively small to Inter Milan, so I don't think Pisa will agree. I think what will happen is he will see out the contract, and Inter Milan will request it back. The reason why that clause is in the contract is that if Inter Milan deems him surplus to requirement, they will let him go off their hands. The wages and the rest of that will not be on Inter's head, and that's the reason why they put it on that. However, part of the clause also states that if Pisa is not interested, he will have to go back to Inter Milan. So definitely that's the reason why they want to strike it off. And Akin Samiro has been clothing himself in glory. He has been performing excellently well for Pisa. Apart from, Pisa even looking at him, a whole lot of other clubs in the Serie A are also, taking a looking at him. So if he gets to come to Nations Cup and he does so well, I think what will happen is because Inter will want more money, and I don't think Pisa will want to agree, he goes back to Inter, then Inter probably sells him for more, or probably keep him to, for their own benefit because of his performance so far. But to be honest, the guy has really done so well. And probably maybe Inter Milan will be regretting letting him go on.
Yeah, definitely. Akin Samiri's stocks is rising. And of course, definitely he has done so well for himself. And it looks like things are going to start turning around for the better for him.
Well, it's all about the business of the game. And Inter Milan is actually playing it very well. He's our player, whatever it is you want to say. Can Pisa actually afford him if Inter Milan decides to actually raise the stock? Do they have what it takes to actually bring in a player of that quality into their ranks? These are the big questions. Will Akin Samiro want to remain with Pisa? I mean, knowing that his stock has risen as a player, also another very big question. So I think Akin Samiro, for him, he's definitely want to return to Inter Milan because that's a big stage where he's going to be seen more. He's going to play Champions League football. I mean, exposure and all of that, top clubs will definitely now be coming, his salary will increase. So these are the things he'll be thinking as a player. Inter Milan as well, looking at him and say, okay, yeah, this is actually a very good business. And for Pisa will definitely want to be friendly with Inter Milan, knowing that, yes, I mean, Inter Milan will always want to do business with us. They will always want to give us, players from that they deems, surplus to requirements, because just one hostile move from Pisa is going to really cancel any future deal with them. And I mean, for clubs like Inter Milan, they will always have players of this quality who they feel is not really at their level, who they will actually want to push somewhere that is going to get a lot of game time. And that's where the likes of Pisa will always come. There are certain teams that their job is to actually to help build other teams. Naturally, that's exactly how it is across the whole league in the world. That's what you get. Many teams will always do that. I mean, likes of Brighton and co. This is what they do. And in some cases, they just get to buy. In other cases, they get these players on loan. They know that they will most likely, they are not too ambitious to actually hit the roof. They're not ambitious to actually become, contenders to actually win title. Maybe Liverpool will get there someday. But for King Samiro, I just hope that, as a player, this is going to be the beginning of a new era for him. And then maybe it's going to become a mainstay for the Super Eagles.
And Man United is already there anyway. For information, in case you have
how did Man United get into this?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Man United is already there already, in case he wants to know, because sometimes you have to give breaking news. In case somebody, I saw information. Somebody went to create a parody account for a media house and tried to say that Salah has been given a fresh contract of 2 years. If you don't really know, if you're not in the news, you think on
That's
top of
true.
his controversial situation, how come they are giving him
2 years?
2 years contract on top of that? So it created a lot of buzz. First, some people observed it and said, wow, this is a parody account. Come on. You guys should just stop the joke. And of course, that's a joke for you, but I will take it. I will take it and remind you too. Man United is in that situation.
Well, you can remind me of
They even was up.
You can remind me.
We know where you are
are
coming
attacking
from. We know
Manchester
your
United.
route.
You're supporting Chelsea.
We know
I
your
understand.
route.
Thank you very much, Maiwa.
Okay. Anyway, that's Camo. We don't know where he's coming from. I know his roots. We know
Man
his
United
roots.
in the house, Chelsea outside.
All right, let's talk about the UEFA Champions League. Arteta hails Madueke magic moments after he scored a double. It looks like Madueke has found a new lease of life. It looks like coming from the bench has taught him some lessons, and he's beginning to step up. And there's no reason not to look at Arsenal as a contender because they're looking good on the top of the table. They've not lost a game in the UEFA Champions League. They are hot favourites, Maiwa.
Well, I mean, 18 points out of 18 shows how good they are. They've been very fantastic in the Champions League. And, no matter the bad belly you want to do, the performance in the Champions League, is a testament to how good they've been. Yes, in the league, they've messed up games that they are supposed to win, but at least in the Champions League, they're doing so well. And the injury to Trossard, was a blessing to Madueke. If Trossard was not injured, Madueke would have probably come on in that particular game. And since then, he has been performing excellently well. I mean, the first goal that he scored yesterday was a screamer. Look at how, he was able to get the ball out of two players and he was able to fire that shot into the net. That shows how good he is. And he's beginning to make a case for himself that, I don't deserve to be put on the bench. And I mean, with that kind of performance, any sensible coach will probably want to put him as the number one on the list. So good one for Arsenal. And also, the win also served as a confidence booster to them. They lost scandalously to Aston Villa over the weekend, a game they shouldn't have lost. In the Champions League, they are finding a loss cylinder. This is a confidence booster going, into the games over the weekend, and probably, keep to also keep Man City at bay in terms of the EPL. So good one for Arteta, good one for Madueke.
And their goal difference is really impressive. They considered just one goal in how many matches in the Champions League. And of course, what more to say about the hot favourites, Arsenal? They've blown teams away, going away to Club Brugge to even get a clean sheet. We know how difficult Barcelona found Club Brugge playing against them. For Arsenal to dispatch them in such a way, and for Noni Madueke to just be strolling and getting a double, it shows that Arsenal are not playing.
Well, 2004, 2005, 2006 season, Arsenal only considered one goal in Champions League till they got to the finals and considered 2 goals against Barcelona. They lost that championship. Last season, Liverpool were top of the log. The first game in the knockout, they lost to PSG eventual winners. So we've seen this script before. It's not the first time we're actually seeing it. English side have this way of showing this super macho thing early. When the stakes get very high, like they always say, when John go mature, Breeze not the 4-3 again. At that point, we definitely will see that Arsenal is really Arsenal. But yes, it's impressive what they are doing now. I just hope in the end that the bug that beat Liverpool last season, when they finally got to the knockout round, will not, hit them now. We saw how they actually turned up against Aston Villa. I mean, who knows? A team will be there some in the knockout round locking to actually play Arsenal like Aston Villa, and then we'll just get to see them in the first round of the knockout stage. Get sent packing. But I mean, this is the moment for them. Let them bask in it, and I hope that Arteta will definitely rest more of his players. I was quite impressed that Declan Rice didn't actually feature in that particular one. The backline, Miles Kelly and co had to actually have playing time. I was not too happy that Madueke didn't actually finish the game. Saka had to come in 72 minutes, I think they were about. But it's for me, I would have.
I don't think there was any need bringing in some players.
Exactly, but
the game was already won.
That's the problem.
Keep them fresh.
That's the problem I have
for the next game.
Arteta likes to actually use his players until they get injured before they get rest, and such character would definitely spare them in the end. The season Atletico Madrid, if you recall that season, they lost Champions League final 4-1 to Real Madrid. I think it was 2016-2017 season. That particular season was a very sad season because 2013-2014 season, because I recall that was the very first one. And that particular season, you know that Diego Simeone actually played that entire season with 16 players. And towards the tail end of the season, many of the players started suffering hamstring and co. If you also recall, 16 minutes, I think it was only 16 minutes, Diego Costa, their striker, actually played in that final. And they were leading, but they were unable to actually keep up the pace because they were already fagged out, and Madrid actually found a way to break them, in a dire moment. And it was all goals after that first goal from Sergio Ramos. So I just hope Arteta will not get into that particular point. The season is still very long, and you just keep using these players. It's very unfair. Zubimendi is also another player that is showing signs of weakness and is getting very, very, really tired. And I just hope he finds a way to actually, make that man also get stay fresh.
Yeah, I was going to even ask you that. I was even waiting, Mariwa, that there was going to be a situation where he's explaining this Arsenal story that he will not bring Liverpool into it. Is it that they are owing you something? Because it looks like a relationship that was good and went bad, like a divorce that was this settled way. I was expecting such to happen. That they were going to bring us into a conversation. I was talking about Liverpool because Liverpool is not here now. They are even doing well. Yeah, come on. Yes.
But Liverpool has been performing poorly now. I mean, the current champions of the EPL, we need to talk about them. They've considered over 12 goals in the Champions League when their compatriot has only considered just one. They have plus 15. What does Liverpool have? So, I mean, I'm not surprised that talking about them. EPL champion representing England.
They're still doing well in the Champions League.
About
who? Liverpool. Yeah, they're 8th on the table. And they still have a chance of winning their next game. They're 9th position, I beg your pardon. And they're on the same point with the
want
team.
To give them 8.
With the team on 6th position. Yeah, the same point. Just 1 point below Atlanta and Man City, who are on 13 points.
So why do you want to force
just
them to
3 points above number 2 is Bayern Munich?
Why are you trying to force number 8?
So just calm down. Just calm down. Keep it cool. Anyway, let's talk about the situation of Real Madrid. Real Madrid are still in the good spot. Talking about they're still in the safe spot as far as the table is concerned. But Erling Haaland looks like he found the best time to make it count. And he got a decisive goal that somehow would have cost Xabi Alonso his job. But it looks like the Real Madrid hierarchy was still convinced that he's still the man for the job.
Well, Xabi Alonso yesterday, I saw the Real Madrid side, and the only thing I could just pick from that side is, I saw them playing like Alonso. I don't know if that makes sense, so I'll tell you. So, how Alonso likes to really just switch from one end of the field to another, right? And that's not the way Real Madrid is known to play. Sadly, that's not how. Real Madrid is a side that really likes to dominate you. And, looking at that side, playing that sort of football against, an English side, that's a traditional English way of playing. It's going to be easy for Man City to actually really contain them. And that was the thing. I was expecting the ball a lot on the feet of Vinicius Jr. to overwork either Darwin Núñez. I said Darwin Núñez. Well, I mean, it's a Liverpool thing.
Come on, see.
To overwork either.
Yeah, see, I'm sure this guy live and breathe and sleep Liverpool.
To overwork either.
You want to be a Liverpool fan, just go and officially apply.
I can't.
Because
I can't. I would rather start following.
If you are so hot, just go.
I would rather start following cricket.
I think you should go for therapy.
I'd rather start following cricket
maybe
than to support Liverpool.
Maybe you should visit a therapist.
But Jerry,
to cure your
Martin Nunes or Nico Riley. I was expecting the ball on his feet. Himself and Rodrigo a lot of the time. I mean, let those passes just get to them without you switching, and it was easy for Man City to actually contain that sort of play because I mean it's exactly what they are very more used to. Xabi Alonso was unable to actually dominate that Manchester City side, in the midfield. I mean, I was just looking at the game, imagining, a certain Rodri in the midfield. It would have been a disaster for Real Madrid because Man City will really, really impose themselves on them. And if it were to be a knockout stage, trust me, Man City would have scored a lot of goals. I think Man City actually came into that game to just, get a point at least, to actually seal their qualifying rounds, and that's what they've managed to do. They are not really into that game to actually get all of the win, but Madrid failed to actually impose themselves as the team at home, and they've really shown that they are not a team to be feared this season, sadly. And with the way I see this Real Madrid, I don't think that they are definitely going to be picking up any severe way. Mbappe or not, this Real Madrid is actually not the team that should be feared.
And my one, it's pretty sad that this season Mbappe is scoring goals for fun. The team is looking like they are not ready to win titles.
Well, I think Alonso has not been able to impose himself on the team. He has a pattern of playing. However, I think the current players do not fit that particular pattern, and that's the reason. And Ikechukwu was very right in what he said. If Rodri had played that game yesterday, probably we'll be talking about 4 or 5 goals in that particular game. I think there was a whole lot of Man City don't have that kind of drive they usually have when there is a Rodri there. And the way, Alonso has set up his side is not does not align with the players he has at the moment. And I don't think the hierarchy in, Real Madrid will be patient enough for him to build a team just like he did with Bayer Leverkusen. Remember, if you're a coach of Real Madrid, if you don't deliver a CV well, they consider you a failure. And at the moment, he's not even doing well. Their rivals is ahead of them, which is Barcelona. And the dressing room seems to be fractured. He's having issues with Endrick. A whole lot of the top players are having issues with him. He can't impose himself. He's losing control of the dressing room, and the issues continue to pile up. The performance on the field of play is very terrible. They are coming on the backdrop of a defeat to a Celta Vigo side. Now they lost to a Man City side again, playing without any direction yesterday. So I think the hierarchy coming out to say they support him is just to, just to get people off his back. But I can bet it with you, if this kind of performance continues, I don't think he keeps his job. I don't think he keeps his job by, the end of December.
All right, of course, we also saw a lot of draws last night. Borussia Dortmund playing 2-2. Newcastle United, I don't know the plan. They were leading by 2-0 against Leverkusen. Leverkusen at home came back from that game and won and played 2-2, I beg your pardon. And Juventus definitely were expecting them to beat Pafos, and I think it should have been more better with a better scoreline. But 2-0 is still decent. Then I don't know for Antonio Conte this season. Benfica, Jose Mourinho, showing Conte who's the boss. 2-0 it ended out there in Portugal. We have to wrap it up. Of course, Europa League will be up tonight. I don't see Manchester United in the fixtures, but it is what it is. Waiting weekend to see the football action once again. All the best. Thanks for being a part of the locker room.
Well, it's always amazing to be here. At least it's better not to be in Europe than to be in Europe disgracing the EPL. Thank you for having me, Jerry.
Thank you for the party shot. And of course, Ikechukwu is also having you as well. And of course, big thanks to the guys behind the scene talking about the likes of Alex, as well as Victor, Hafiz, and of course, Hassan, not leaving out Paul. My name is Jerry Apelohai, saying thanks for being a part of the locker room. Up next is Political Lens with Chukwuma Okoro. Stay tuned.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe. Hunger no get religion.
and scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
Welcome to Kitty's Corner. Every weekend is a new journey. Join Auntie Oni as she embarks on thrilling adventures